Hello, fellow TV and film fanatics. I'm Greg, and I make recommendations for the best TV shows and movies that you can check out from the comfort of your own home. And with August literally around the corner, it's time to talk through some of the new and returning shows that will be dropping on the big streaming platforms out there right now. And this is another month where I think there's some really awesome options to jump into or back into, with tons of genres like fantasy, sci-fi, superhero, action comedies, adventure, and even a bit of horror on our list today. But as always, stop mindlessly scrolling, stop wasting your time. Let's jump in and check it out.
Are you still the chief who desires peace over war?
First up on our list today is an exciting new historical drama series on Apple TV Plus, and this is The Chief of War. And this one looks to be an epic journey led by Jason Momoa, and it's set in the late 18th century, and the series chronicles the unification of Hawaii and the looming threat of Western colonization, told from the perspective of the indigenous people. And this unique take on Hawaii's history follows this fierce warrior chief played by Momoa, who must navigate tribal warfare, internal betrayals, and just the overwhelming challenges brought on by these external powers. And from what I've read, this is a deeply personal endeavor for Momoa, who actually co-created, co-wrote, executive produced, and stars in the series itself. And typically when someone puts this much personal investment into a project, it translates to a pretty high level of dedication and authenticity to it. But beyond just the historical significance and Momoa's investment here, Chief of War looks like it's going to deliver some epic action sequences and some really high production values, which obviously Apple TV Plus is known for at this point. The show is said to feature large-scale battles, intense political intrigue, and some incredible visuals designed to transport you right to this world of pre-colonial Hawaii. Additionally, an interesting thing here for me is the addition of Hans Zimmer doing the music for this one here, and it does tell me that this is probably going to be more than just a visual experience. And then you also get a strong cast that complements all of this, including of course Momoa, we've talked about a few times, but also Lucienne Buchanan, Timura Morrison, and Cliff Curtis, and plenty of others too. But if you're a fan of Momoa, epic historical dramas, and some quality action, Chief of War looks like an exciting new series to dive into when it drops here on the 1st.
One second. Hey, Pinguini, how's it going? Oh, I love you too, sweetie. Bye.
I love you, Pinguini. A Pinguini.
Next up is a great option for those of you looking for a comedy with sharp humor and a unique take on midlife relationships. And this is the series Platonic Season 2 on Apple TV Plus. And this series looks to continue the hilarious and chaotic friendship between Rose Byrne's Sylvia and Seth Rogen's Will in the series. And in Season 1, we got to follow along this duo navigating the complexities of their lives, relationships, and their careers. And now in Season 2, it looks like we're going to take things even further as Sylvia and Will deal with new challenges, including their work, weddings, and their own romantic relationships. I expect more of the fast-paced, witty banter that makes their friendship in this series so dynamic and relatable, especially as they work through their mostly over-the-top crises, all while disrupting each other's lives in the most hilarious ways. And the show's real strength lies in the ability to balance the sheer volume of irreverent humor in this one with some quality touching moments that really dive deep into topics like career dissatisfaction, relationship struggles, and the complexities of just aging in general, which makes the show feel very authentic, relatable, and always engaging. Plus, these characters have such a unique relationship as platonic friends, which is free from romantic cliches and is quite unique and offers a smart, entertaining look at the ups and downs of navigating adulthood. And I will say this is also the same creator as Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen's other on-screen relationship in Neighbors, which obviously was very different, but has a lot of the same types of ridiculous situations and humor that will feel very familiar if you enjoy that type of comedy. And their chemistry is top notch, and I'm sure that will remain a highlight in this series going forward because they just work off of each other so well, and they fully embrace the full spectrum of comedy and emotions that they go through together. So if you appreciate clever, character-driven comedy that isn't afraid to be a bit chaotic, Platonic Season 2 promises to deliver plenty of laughs, some emotional depth, and unexpected moments that's ideal for someone looking for a casual binge.
How does it feel?
Like returning to the scene of the crime. I already know where the bodies are buried.
Up next is probably one of the most popular Netflix shows in recent memory, so I'm not really sure that it needs much recommending here, but I would feel silly at least not mentioning it. So here is the thrilling and mysterious Wednesday Season 2 that is going to be coming back on August 6th. I will say that this is another annoying 2-part release from Netflix where the first 4 episodes will drop on the 6th here, and then the remaining episodes come on September 3rd. But after the success of the first season, the hype is for real for this new installment in this one, and it promises promises to be even more of what fans loved with the sharp wit, dark humor, and supernatural intrigue that we got in season 1. This time it's said to be a little bit darker, a little bit more horror vibe, and some more gruesome slasher inspired elements in this season. So I expect a deeper dive into the supernatural with some fresh mysteries, hopefully some eerie creatures, and exploring this wild world that they've created. And I'll start this one by saying that I've always enjoyed the stories that have come from the mind of Tim Burton and the creepy yet alluring worlds that he's been able to bring to life, from Beetlejuice to The Nightmare Before Christmas. So knowing that he'll return to direct some of these episodes and produce this series is absolutely a highlight here for me. And on top of that, some additional intrigue comes from season 2, said to be expanding on the beloved Addams Family lore, with Morticia, Gomez, Pugsley, and Uncle Fester starting to play a little bit more prominent roles in this season and diving into their, well, interesting family dynamics, offering new insights into their relationships and adding to the show's overall macabre charm. And if you've seen the show, pretty much every relationship that Wednesday has in the show, it seems to be intriguing in one way or another. Obviously, her family doesn't really see eye to eye with her, but her classmates in this series seem like they're from a totally different world, which provides a lot of the interesting interactions and then plenty of the humor. But really what makes this show is Jenna Ortega. Her timing, her incredible facial expressions, and just her portrayal of this character brings this world to life. And the cast so far has been great, but they do have some awesome additions and some guest appearances that are supposed to be coming here in season 2, with Steve Buscemi, Anthony Michael Hall, and even Lady Gaga making an appearance in this one. So whether you're here for the Addams Family drama, the supernatural mysteries, or just Jenna Ortega's performances here, this season is set to be a standout binge option. Now, there are a few on our list here today that I'm genuinely excited to watch, and my next pick here, Alien Earth, is absolutely one of them. I'm a huge fan of the Alien franchise and the horror-driven sci-fi options in general, so Alien Earth on August 12th fits that bill perfectly. And this is an FX series that you can stream on Hulu, and this does mark the first time the terrifying xenomorphs will be featured in a live-action show. And the series, created by Noah Hawley, who's known for Fargo, Legion, serves as a prequel to the original Alien film, diving into the uncharted territory on Earth just before the events of Alien. And the story looks like it centers around the crash landing of this research vessel that brings the xenomorphs and some other alien horrors to our home planet. This one here is set against the backdrop of this corporate-controlled Earth, where the series is set to explore the rise of these powerful corporations and the ethical dilemmas surrounding artificial intelligence and synthetic life. And we follow Wendy, played by Sydney Chandler, who is this hybrid synthetic with a human consciousness who's caught between her human emotions and her synthetic body. And as this group discovers alien life forms from the crashed vessel, they navigate corporate greed, existential questions about humanity's survival, and just this visceral horror from the xenomorphs themselves. And this show is said to be packed with Noah Hawley's signature style, so you can expect gripping action, complex characters, and just an unsettling atmosphere that does keep you on edge constantly. And they don't show us a lot, but from the sneak peeks in the trailer itself, you can see the series is going to take us to a meticulously crafted world with high production value, cinematic quality, some stunning visuals, and what seems like a fresh take on this franchise. So whether you're a diehard fan or a newcomer, Alien Earth looks like a perfect addition to the watch list if you're a sci-fi or horror enthusiast.
Dad? You let me grow up thinking that you'd been killed.
Disappearing was the only way I could keep you safe.
Let's move forward and talk about Amazon Prime Video's newest spy thriller series here, Butterfly. The series is based on the Boom Studios graphic novel and follows David, played by Daniel Day Kim, who is a former US intelligence operative who fakes his death to protect his estranged daughter, Rebecca. But after years of silence, David's past finally catches up to him, and he must confront the consequences of his decisions. And the show itself looks like it's going to center around the reunion between these characters, who are now on opposite sides of the intelligence world, with one working for this sinister spy organization called Cadus, and now they must navigate their complex relationship in a series filled with betrayal, redemption, and a gritty world of global espionage. And I'm intrigued to see how the show is going to explore this turbulent father-daughter dynamic that it's said to have, definitely making the series feel a bit unique for this genre. But like any good spy thriller, I do expect tons of high-octane action, gunfights, car chases, hand-to-hand combat, It looks like it'll have all the thrilling sequences with excellent production values just from what we've seen so far, but it does look like the personal stakes between these two characters looks like it's what's going to keep you hooked into the series, adding depth to the endless amounts of action. And the series does look like it has a pretty awesome cast, some very well-known actors in here to go along with all the action and emotion here. You do have obviously Daniel Day Kim, who not only stars in the series, but also serves as an executive producer too, but also Piper Perabo, Renia Hardesty, Charles Parnell, Henry Ian Cusick, Parquet Sue from Squid Game. So if you're looking for a thrilling, emotionally resonant spy drama series, Butterfly looks like something to keep your eye on.
Many people think they know my story,
Amanda Knox was accused
in the death of her roommate. But now it's my turn to tell it.
Up next is the true crime drama limited series, The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox on Hulu, and we get this one on August 20th, and this is an 8-episode drama series that delves deep into one of the most sensational true crime cases of the 21st century, where we follow the wrongful conviction of Amanda Knox for the 2007 murder of her British roommate. And the real Amanda Knox herself actually is an executive producer on this one here, which does provide an intimate and personal perspective of her 16-year-long legal battle to clear her name. And with Grace Van Patten in the lead role, the show does aim to bring the human element to this case, exploring the emotional toll of being at the center of a media frenzy and the complexities of the justice system itself. So you can expect to see some new insights into the high-profile legal struggle that captured global attention. And I feel like I say this every time I talk through a show based on true events, but I do really enjoy these types of shows. I think that it adds an extra layer of intrigue knowing that most of this actually happened, besides the stuff that does get Hollywooded up a little bit. But The Twisted Tale of Amanda Knox is actually really intriguing because it's very unique for even this genre because of its deeply personal perspective. Most of these shows bring back grand stories from history, but with Knox's involvement as an executive producer, the show offers her side of the story, providing a very in-depth and deeply personal take on this, providing a very unique lens on the event. And the show is said to go way beyond just the headlines, exploring themes of the media's influence on this, wrongful conviction, and just the impact of sensationalism on both the accused and the victim's family during this time. And from what I gather, the case already and what we know so far is actually incredibly fascinating due to its many twists, turns, and controversial evidence in there, and then the sheer length of the legal saga, which was 16 years. And I'm sure Hollywood again will dramatize certain events for the series to amplify that even further, but it'll be pretty incredible to see this roll out. And this is another show that does boast a pretty strong cast. Again, we already mentioned Grace Van Patten in this one, but you've also got Sharon Horgan, Rebecca Osaki, and Roderick Hill. And so if you enjoy compelling drama, true crime, legal battles, and even some personal narratives like this one here, this looks like another solid option here in August.
We haven't always been great people. But we are the 11th Street Kids. No one will ever break us apart.
Another one of my favorite titles hitting in August here is the HBO Max superhero comedy series here, Peacemaker Season 2. And this show here follows the chaotic adventures of Christopher Smith, aka Peacemaker, played by John Cena in this one, and the dysfunctional team of misfits that he's put together. And now Season 2 picks up right after the events of the Suicide Squad and delves into a new personal and multiversal challenges that they'll have to face. And this season promises even more explosive action, plenty of the crude humor, and ridiculousness as Peacemaker confronts past trauma and faces new foes, with the addition of Frank Grillo as Rick Flag Sr. seeking vengeance, and then the introduction of an alternate Peacemaker from a parallel universe. This season will raise the stakes and dive deeper into Peacemaker's already chaotic and crazy world. And this one here is ridiculous in so many different ways, from crazy unrealistic action scenes to way over the top comedic moments that create super fun and engaging moments throughout the series. And if you enjoyed the Suicide Squad films, this is already an amazing option. You should definitely check it out because it has that exact same tone and feel to it. And I've loved this show's willingness to lean into its absurdity, the gore, and the off-the-wall humor that made it what it is, and just how unapologetic it is, really. They know what they are and they own that. And yes, the show does explore some deeper themes like trauma, redemption, family dysfunction, but mostly you're going to be jumping into this one for that ridiculous humor. And if you were a fan of the first season like myself, you'll love to know that the returning dynamic between Peacemaker and his team, including Adebayo, Vigilante, John, and Amelia are all going to be back, but also we get some awesome new additions to the cast. One I mentioned with Frank Grillo, but also you have Michael Roker, Tim Meadows, David Denman, Elizabeth Faith Ludlow, and a few others here. So it looks to be an awesome cast all around. And with this being one of the first major live action projects in the new James Gunn DCU, this season will probably provide us with some key context for the future of the DC universe, with some cameos from characters in James Gunn's other DC projects, or just leading to what they might be. So whether you're looking for a thrilling, unpredictable, and hilarious ride, or just a fan of Gunn's unique superhero storytelling, Peacemaker is absolutely worth checking out for yourself.
I know why they're here.
Let's jump back over to Apple TV Plus for our next pick here, and this is the sci-fi drama series Invasion Season 3, which premieres on August 22nd. And after 2 seasons of fragmented storytelling, Season 3 looks to finally unite its diverse global characters who have been dealing with the fallout of alien invasion. And now with stakes higher than ever, these characters have to come together to infiltrate the alien mothership and face off against the Apex aliens. And with a setup like that, this season looks like it is set for action-packed sequences that dives deeper into the alien psychology and just their overall master plan. And really one of the biggest draws for this season of the show is the convergence of its characters, who have spent the first 2 seasons mostly isolated in their own personal survival stories, and that along with the mission itself, which seems really exciting, to infiltrate this mothership, which marks a dramatic escalation in the narrative. And we can assume that this will be the most action-driven season yet. And along with the intense battles and alien mysteries, I do hope that Invasion continues to prioritize its character-driven stories and not totally divert from what has made it great so far. But like most Apple TV Plus shows, this is probably gonna have some pretty incredible production value. I can imagine there'll be stunning visuals, amazing effects, and the world that they transport you to will be great, which promises to be another immersive experience that fans of grand scale sci-fi series like this one can really appreciate. So if you're a fan of character-driven sci-fi with high stakes action, or just eager to finally see the storylines all come together in an epic global fight for survival, this one looks like a solid option for you to check out here in August.
We fight for each other.
You're moving on a restricted target.
Which is why it's so hard to give up that brotherhood.
Popping up here again is one of the ones that I am most excited about today on our list again, and this is the Prime Video spin-off prequel to the action-packed series The Terminal List, and this here is The Terminal List Dark Wolf. And this spinoff here is set to focus on the origin of Taylor Kish's character, Ben Edwards, and the series looks to delve into his transformation from US Navy SEAL into a CIA paramilitary operative, exploring the dark sides of warfare, emphasizing the psychological toll of special operations and the moral complexities that come along with it. And this one is set 5 years before the events of The Terminal List, where Dark Wolf looks to be an intensive espionage thriller that blends action-packed sequences with character-driven drama, all while expanding the universe of Jack Carr's novels. And in season 1 of The Terminal List, we see Ben Edwards as a supporting character, but with Dark Wolf, he's taking the spotlight, offering a much deeper look at his character's motivations, his struggles, and the eventual descent into this world of covert CIA operation. And alongside Kish in this one, the show does look like it stars Chris Pratt, who's reprising his role as James Reese, allowing for an exploration of the early bond between these two characters. And with a focus on the espionage in this one and these covert missions, I'm going to assume, like its predecessor, Dark Wolf is going to have some high levels of realistic, brutal action sequences, including firefights, covert missions, and close quarters combat. And I have reviewed The Terminal List before, and I never realized the level of commitment to military authenticity that they have in these shows. You have Jack Carr, who is the author of this, who's also a former Navy SEAL who co-created the series, and they also brought in veterans to be writers and advisors to bring the show to life in the most accurate way they can, from the operational details to the psychological tolls that they talk about. Nevertheless, The Terminal List Dark Wolf looks like another quality option for those of you looking for action, thrills, character-driven stories, and it does offer us a fresh look at this complex anti-hero character, and it sets the stage for future narratives in the Terminal List universe. Definitely worth checking out for yourself.
Wakanda is a kingdom of many secrets.
Then last but certainly not least on our list here today is the newest addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the animated series The Eyes of Wakanda. And this animated anthology series explores the untold history of Wakanda, focusing on different eras and stories of the country's elite covert operatives known as the Eyes of Wakanda. In this 4-episode series, you will journey through Wakanda's past, uncovering thrilling missions involving vibranium artifacts and grand adventures. And with executive producer Ryan Coogler at the helm, this series does promise to offer us new insights to the cultural and technological development of the vibrant, mystical world of Wakanda, even expanding on the Black Panther's lore itself. And I'm always excited to check out really anything Marvel, and an anthology format is new for them, with each episode set in a different historical period and how this world has evolved with different tech, cultures, and even, like I said, the Black Panther itself. And the series itself, from what they've shown us so far, looks amazing with some really incredible animation, bringing these time periods to life in this hyper stylized visual approach. And it looks like this will offer us a unique view of Wakanda's past, but also hints at future MCU connections through different time periods with characters like the different iterations of Iron Fist. So with this one being a canon piece of the MCU, the show is expected to have impacts on tons of future titles. So really the only bummer for me with this one is that it's only 4 half-hour episodes, but if you're a fan of the MCU, the Black Panther, or you want to dive deeper into the legacy of Wakanda, this title looks really intriguing. And that's going to do it for our list today, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us all the way to the end. If you don't mind, take a second to do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe. It does really help us out, and it does cost you nothing, but gets our recommendations out to others looking for their next binge-worthy option. So thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.